Nothing but sit.
Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by
KO Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and KO Podcast.
Let's go. And welcome into the Rob and KO Podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this weekend. We appreciate you guys taking some of your time on Sunday evening to hang out with us. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. My friend is the #1 Gamecock YouTuber on the planet and everybody's friend, Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Cale Hall. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Rob, how you doing?
I am doing, my friend. Got to play golf with the wife today, and so it's been a pretty good day. Not too bad.
That's good. That's good. It's been extreme. You were on the golf course. That must have been miserable.
It was miserably hot, yes, but we got it in. Managed to get it in, which is good. You know?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why we always bitch about how hot it is every summer. I mean, this happens. Most summers, more often than not, it's hot. But this one feels a little bit.
It's like
more.
Yeah. A little bit more silly is what we're trying to say.
Seems
there.
A little bit more intense. Seems more intense than it was last year.
Well, I think it's like the South Carolina schedule. Everybody bitches about, oh, it's hard, but it's the same schedule every fucking year. It's always hot in South Carolina in June, July, and August. Deal with it. I don't know why people complain about it,
Yeah, and we normally always have a tough schedule. So, yeah, I get it.
Brock says it really isn't that bad. I'd rather it be very hot than very cold. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I like it. I'd rather it be cold. I'm one of those weirdos. But
well, there's a lot you can't do. The cold I can deal with. It's the wind. The wind just sucks ass. I hate windy days. I hate trying to work in the wind. It's just I don't like it.
So anyway, we'll get into that. We're not talking more weather. I've got this article that I sent Jackpot, and it's from, who's it from? It's from some South Carolina message board website or whatever, but they're quoting another site. But before we do that this evening, I'm going to drop a little something on the show that I've got some that's going to be actually a big thing. I have talked to 2 different people today that have told me within the next 6 weeks, we will know where Clemson and FSU are going, but they are leaving the ACC.
Okay.
Mark that down.
That's great. This is about an end to like a 2-year saga. I mean,
right.
Everybody's about sick and tired of hearing about it.
I think people are sick of hearing about it, but I think
they're not that important. Nobody gives a shit. But anyway,
fair enough. But the whole thing is that there's going to be a ripple in the college football world, and the ACC is going to basically go away. So, and the reason being is because FSU's attorneys found a way to go out, and Clemson was basically following along. Once they figured it out, they all got together, and it's pretty much a done deal from what I've been told. But
my thing is, why do you need an attorney to get out of the grant of rights deal that you signed when there's an amount of money that you can pay to get out of the grant of rights deal? What do you need an attorney for?
Well, here the reasoning behind it is because they are going to claim in court that they were promised certain things by the conference and the conference didn't deliver, as far as putting the whole weight of the conference behind football instead of that suck dick Duke UNC rivalry. I wish both of those schools would get wiped off the planet, because that's half the reason that the ACC football sucks so much, is because Swafford at one point, he made two huge mistakes in his tenure. First was during COVID, not letting Notre Dame off the hook. Fuck those Catholics. You should have been told point blank, look, either you can have a football season or you can't. But to have that football season, you have to join our conference. It's called business, sir.
Right.
No one was going to play Notre Dame, period. He had them by the balls, and he didn't do anything with it. So that's number one. And the other is everything was centered around, well, we are absolutely the UNC Duke basketball. You have to hear that shit over and over and over again. And they didn't take football seriously because everything was about, oh, we have to have these two games. And Coach K and Coach Williams scissor each other. That's what we have here. And it sucks. And that's what's actually killed the conference. So you can thank Swafford. He's sitting over there with the money that the ACC paid him in his retirement, because that's what he's doing now. He's sitting over there in his retirement, and he can sit back and watch some of these games. Maybe his grandkids can put them on for him, and he can watch those UNC Duke games that he loves so much. And then Duke and FSU leaving, and I'm not sure where they're going to go, because I've been told some things, but as far as from people that I know for sure, I don't know where they're going. But the reality is that they're leaving, and a lot of it has to do with the ACC not taking football seriously. So it's almost like we should play the Undertaker's music for the ACC tonight, because that's kind of where it is. Anyway,
South Carolina left the league in 1970 because of the same thing with Duke, and it's the thing with Duke and UNC, but it had to do with a lot of favoritism shown to those schools, and they weren't having any of it, so they up and left. I think they won the conference in basketball the year they left too.
Mm-hmm.
Just crazy.
Well, in fairness, it's sort of like the way that Texas used to run the Big 12. Remember the whole story where they were upset that fans were putting the horns down sign, and they bitched and they got fans carted off or whatever with that. That shit went on in the Big 12.
They get a penalty if the players do it, don't they?
Yeah, and that's from the Big 12.
It was an unsportsmanlike penalty,
right? And that's one of the things. Like I am not an SEC guy, but I tell you what, I would love for them to go into a meeting and be like, at Alabama they were given the horns down sign, and we don't like that, so they should have a penalty. Before they got that out of their mouth, they would get punched in their fucking face, and then they would get pissed on. And then they would tell them, shut your mouth and sit over there with Vanderbilt.
And the only finger gesture that should be considered unsportsmanlike is like flipping the bird.
I don't think you should get for that. Unless you're taking your finger and inserting it in an asshole, I don't think it should matter.
Well, we know somebody did that and didn't get a penalty for it, but
you
walked into that one.
No, I was setting you up, sir. It's called softball. Trying to give the old man a couple of singles here. Anyway, but no. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys have that as a something that, I still have sources and stuff that I have, and they've told me it's coming, and that's going to be something that. Remember, we didn't really see it coming when Texas and Oklahoma joined the conference. I was at ACC kickoff, and someone sent me a message. They're like, they're joining the conference. And I'm like, I literally thought it was a joke, because it was about 10 minutes before I went on the air, and I was like, this is bullshit. This isn't happening. I showed it to Lawton Swan, and Lawton Swan from Clemson Sports Talk thought it was a joke. He thought somebody was screwing with me. But it's a little bit different with this one because of the string of things that have happened. And I think that they got the lawyers together and said, look, this is X, Y, and Z where you didn't hold up to your end. We're willing to pay a portion of that grant of rights fee, which I think is going to happen. I was told it'd be about a third. I don't know for sure or not. 3 different people told me a third, so maybe a third of that grant of rights fee to get them conference. But when they do that, if I'm the ACC, I wouldn't agree to any of that. I'd rather go to court if I'm sitting in their shoes. But the idea comes back to it now. Once you do that, you've killed your conference. You get that big payday, but then what are you doing? Let's get ready for an SMU Virginia Tech championship game. Jackpot could draw more people to his damn potato chip truck giving away potato chips. That's just reality. So
I
they're killing the
guarantee you that. Papa B back here in the comments says 93% of people polled wanted Texas A&M to beat Tennessee. I'm surprised it wasn't higher.
Well,
That really, for more reasons than just who it was, that pissed me off big time today because I had a parlay on that. Just $25 threw down on the Braves on the money line and Texas A&M on the money line. And damn it, I mean, I knew though when I saw the score was 1-0 in the 7th inning because I took a long nap, and when I saw that score, I was like, yeah. These fuckers are going to come back and win this shit because there's no way that's going to hold up. And I was right. Didn't give me any insurance runs across. So, but anyway, I would have won $80 off that deal. So thank you, Tennessee.
Tennessee cost you $80, sir.
Thank you, Tennessee. I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to go over this thing about Shane Beamer here, and trying to bring this up really quick here. But it's basically a piece that was on, let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I get the right story here. Hold on just a second. Why don't I guess I could just read it from here. Anyway, the story is from garnetandhockey.com, but they take their information from, according to On3. So it's an On3 story that was rewritten by garnetandhockey.com.
Your audio is cutting in and out. Something fierce.
We're Garnet and Cocky. Who reset me? Oh, let me reset my audio here.
Your
I don't
audio
know.
has
I don't know
JBs or
who is
something.
like.
Don't chew that. Stop.
It might have.
Don't do that.
All right. Hopefully
Don't
that's better. Maybe that's.
You don't want you to chew it.
All right. Anyway, so this is from On3's Griffin McVeigh. He says, talking about Shane Beamer, some anonymous coaches shared their opinion on Beamer and his program, citing comments from 2 anonymous coaches. McVeigh wrote that there are some voices in the coaching community who don't think highly of Beamer. One said, quote, I think Shane Beamer's on the hot seat. He's had some issues with the portal, NIL. Beamer wasn't ready for this. You could tell by the way he handles his press conferences. He's had a few big wins, yes, but I see that program as dead in the water. Another coach argued he thinks Shane's lost the locker room last year. The outlook, according to the second coach, isn't quite as dire, though, as he believes Beamer made a good move that he could fix a lot of problems by bringing in Sean Elliott, saying Sean will get the locker room right. So I wanted to throw that to you, Jackpot.
Okay, first of all, I don't put any weight in any of these anonymous coaches said this crap. I think it's whoever wrote the damn article who said it, because nobody. I don't believe it, because how are you going to get an anonymous coach to make that statement when that coach does? How do they have faith that you're not going to go tell that they said it?
Right.
Like, here's what Hugh Freeze had to say about Shane Beamer. So if it's me and I'm like, Mark Stoops, I'm not making comments about somebody like that to any reporter that could be used against me. Fuck that. I don't care if I say it.
I don't think it may have been the head coach. It just says a coach. So what I'm doing is that when you look at it could be, an offensive coordinator. It could be a tight end coach. That's the thing. You've got all these coaches on a staff. I don't know the round number, but there's a shit ton of coaches.
I don't know. If you look at Florida's picture, it looks like they got over 100 on their staff.
Well, but that's the thing. It's surprising to me because there are so many coaches. I mean, what if he interviewed with, I don't know, a graduate assistant who's on the coaching staff, and that's what the graduate assistant said. So I mean, it depends on which coach said it, and he's not going to tell you what coach said it. And he'll go under the idea of, I'm not giving up my sources, which I can understand that to a certain extent. But when you're just getting dirt on a coach like that, it's kind of shitty. Kind of shitty to print that, in my opinion. I wouldn't print that myself.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that from another standpoint, I think what he put in there, some of it holds weight. I don't think that Shane Beamer lost the locker room. I don't think it's an issue of that. I do
I mean,
think with some of the bullshit,
Didn't they win 3 out of their last 4 games?
he
Just correct
convinced.
me if I'm wrong.
You're right. He convinced Spencer Rattler to go out there and basically get himself killed in the Clemson game.
No.
I mean, that's just real. What did Spencer Rattler have to gain from that, other than playing for the Gamecock logo and Shane Beamer?
Well,
He didn't give a shit about.
He wanted to go 2-0 against Clemson.
Well, and that's fair, but where did he get that drive from? He's not from here. He got it from Shane Beamer. Think about it, and the coaching staff. So, yep. I mean, I'm just being honest. But what Peg and Megan has said there, Beamer does seem lost in his press conferences. That's exactly right.
Well, he does. He loses his press conferences. He doesn't seem lost. It's not that he seems lost. Well, let me backtrack a second. He doesn't know. Like, somebody's supposed to be like we weren't talking about this. Uncle Lou was talking about this one time. Like, there's sports information people, I think, right, that give them the stats, that are briefing them on shit before they go up there.
Right. Yep.
And like, he doesn't seem to know the statistics and things like that. So maybe that's what Megan's talking about. But he's lost a lot of press conferences just by just saying dumb things, wearing his what feelings on his shirt sleeve, just whatever. I don't doubt that he cares. Maybe he cares too much. I don't doubt that he loves his guys. I don't doubt any of that. But do you have to reel it in? They're paying you like $6 million a year. You got to be a grown up, and you got to put your big boy britches on when you go up there. You got to be professional. And crying is not being professional, and neither is talking about hot dogs and whatever else. And then we've already talked about the deal with kicking the damn water cooler. Why couldn't you have just lied about that and make something fucking up? Make it up. I mean, right. I don't know. I mean, I stepped the wrong way coming off the sidewalk. Whatever. I dropped a pot of coffee on my foot. However you might break your foot, lie. Sometimes I don't think that it's the wrong thing to do.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, unless someone asks you why bring it up, I mean, that's the other thing too. Why bring it up that you twisted your ankle? What the fuck? It's
you're just asking for it. It's like I don't know. You're walking into a massive beehive, and you're forced to march through this beehive, and before you are forced to march through it, you're like, wait, let me dip myself in honey real quick.
Yeah, it's
kind of or shit. Actually, it's kind of like you're asking for it.
Actually, Paul, respectfully, Paul, no, he said before it comes out, he actually brought it up first. So I mean, yeah, it's a gong show with the way
it doesn't matter either way. If a reporter asked him or what, I wouldn't have told the truth about that. No way.
Yeah, if I don't think that should have been there, but I don't think that's having that stuff is just fair in my opinion. But he's getting paid $6 million a year. You got to take bullets anyway. But I see. Here's the thing, though. No one would I use Spurrier as an example. No one would have said shit about Steve Spurrier. Period. Think about that. I mean, and even Muschamp to an extent, until the wheels really fell off. The only people that were basically saying Muschamp's a piece of shit were myself and Jackpot.
Well,
Everybody else
he
was
got
like,
cooked. He got cooked before the 2019 season. If you'll remember when that kid died at Maryland, and somehow or another, Muschamp either worked with, or he knows, or he's close with Coach Durkin, and he kind of defended him, said something about those are anonymous sources stating this stuff. Who the hell with anonymous sources? Or whatever he had to say about it. I'm like, and that's I talked about that one. I'm like, dude, you should have just pled the fifth. I mean,
yeah. Hey, I work with Coach Durkin. I'm praying for the families. I'm sorry about what happened to the young man at Maryland, and I'm more concerned right now with what my young men are dealing with as we head into play Tennessee. That's all he had to say. And then you know what? People move the fuck on. You didn't bury Durkin. You didn't do any of that. You didn't bury Durkin. You said, hey, I work with him. He's not blah, blah, blah. Bless the families, and boom, we got to look at Tennessee. But no,
Randall says, what was Spurrier's
step
record against Clemson?
I think it was
I
5
think
and 5.
it was 6-4, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
But see, because I can tell you, 2005, right, was the first one, loss. So he's 0-1. 2006, he won, so he's 1-1. 2007 and 2008 were losses. That makes you 1-3. 2009, 1, 2-3, then 3-3, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, and then 2014, and he was 6-4. Yeah, and he didn't do 2015 because he exited stage left. Then like he deadbeat dad. What shit.
God damn it, Jackpot.
Well, I love Steve Spurrier. I mean, I'm grateful for what he did here, but I mean, he's down there. He's all dolled up in his Gator blue. He's got his damn little Gator restaurant and all this stuff. Man, that never makes any mention of South Carolina ever. And I just find it. I don't know. I don't know what I find it. It pisses me off. And then he just I just don't like the way he just fucking quit. Just fucking quit. Who does that? Who does that? And then our stupid ass staff and Ray Tanner and that bunch of idiots down there were so fucking incompetent that they had a 6-week head start on everybody else in college football. 6-week head start to find a new coach, and they still fucked it up.
Octavian, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. How you doing, buddy? Talking about Steve Spurrier, how Steve Spurrier, fucked up South Carolina, didn't he?
We just said that,
you.
sir.
Are you in a tunnel?
No, I'm not in the tunnel.
Look, here's the thing. Jackpot already said Steve Spurrier fucked South Carolina over. If you're just going to repeat things Jackpot says, just wait until the show's over and do it in the comment sections.
Listen. South Carolina will never be the same again, man. I'm just telling y'all, South Carolina is horrible. The only good sport they have is women's basketball. So just get over it. So just
wait. Well, sir, what do you have?
I think we won 2 out of 3 in baseball on the road at your place, and you made the College World Series. I also think we beat you in basketball this past year too. So yeah,
we went over this with Chris the other night. The only thing that you're worth a shit in right now is softball. Don't argue with me on this because we looked it up. You are worthless in every fucking sport except softball, sir. So if you're calling me to talk about softball, I'll be happy to sit here and listen. Maybe you've got the greatest softball player on the planet. I don't know. But you are not worth a shit in any sport except softball. We looked it up. It's documented. All right? Move on. What you got?
What else? Let's talk about South Carolina.
You can't do that. Let's talk here. Tell me about your first baseman because I heard she's great. We're gonna stay on topic of what you're good at. How's the first baseman for the Florida softball team? I heard she's awesome.
Let's talk about South Carolina and the women's basketball team.
You want to talk about the women's basketball team in South Carolina? Didn't lose a fucking game this year. They've lost 1 game in fucking 3 seasons. You really want to go against that? Yeah. Don Staley's penis is bigger than you'll ever be. Don't come at me with this nonsense.
Ugh.
Man, South Carolina is historically sorry at football anyway. So they had a handful of good years, had a couple of them, good players. Sidney Rice, uh, Farrell Cooper. I actually like Farrell Cooper. He reminds me of Percy Harvin, Debo Samuel. Yeah, at least I had one good quarterback. It was what's his name? Connor Shaw. No, not Connor
Connor
Shaw.
Shaw,
Yeah, Connor Shaw was pretty decent. I
Stephen
fucking
Garcia was my favorite.
I hated that son of a bitch. I hate that bitch. I hate that son of a bitch. I hate Stephen Garcia.
Okay,
Let's
well,
see. Y'all had Kerry McKinley.
are we
I
gonna,
like those.
Yeah.
why don't you mention the Hall of Fame defensive back that is I mean, the guy once he retires is going into the Hall of Fame. You want to talk about him?
Who gives a shit about South Carolina's defense, bro? South Carolina's horrible.
What about that guy that got the hit of the century? Well, what about him? He was all right.
Yeah, he was all
How
right.
about
But he,
Marcus Lattimore, who had more heart and dedication than anybody that's ever stepped on the Florida field, with the exception of Tebow.
Marcus Lattimore went
How about
to
him?
the swamp, and in your words, Rob, a true freshman in 2010, and in your words, wiped his goober on their curtains, won the SEC
Exactly what he
East
did.
about pretty much single-handedly, blew him out
Look,
too.
Spurrier had, well, wasn't that the game where he had like 30 carries?
Yeah,
Is that game? Yeah. Spurrier basically told them, he mouthed to your coach, I'm gonna run this guy 30 fucking times and you can't stop him. Fuck you. That's what Spurrier
yeah,
basically did.
yeah.
And he
Well,
ran him
was that
all over the
Muschamp?
place.
Was that
And he didn't do
Muschamp that
anything.
lost that?
No,
I
that
don't
was
know.
Myers last year. And
Was that
the
Urban?
Red
Oh
Sox,
God! Oh,
that
well,
was,
good. That was. I like to see him get bent over.
yeah, I like to see
So,
South Carolina get bent over
Oh,
by every
well,
SEC
I mean,
team.
so you're not going to talk about the program you're good at, right? We're not going to talk about the Florida softball team
No,
and how great you
we're
are.
gonna talk about football, and we
No,
dominate
don't
South
talk to me about
Carolina.
football. You don't have a football team, sir.
We
You
have
have
a
a bunch
football
of
team.
dummies.
South
The
Carolina,
only,
if we don't want
the only,
South Carolina, damn
the
sure don't have
only
a football
thing,
team.
the only thing that you're waiting for is for what Tim Tebow's statue to be put up, and maybe Aaron Hernandez will have a statue out there. Other
Let
than
me tell
that,
you something.
I mean, just something for the birds to shit on down there.
I guess.
So yeah,
I guess.
all you
I
got,
guess.
sir.
And then Tennessee today.
Do you
That
have
that
an Aaron
unbelievable.
Hernandez jersey? Don't lie. Do you
I
have an
used to
Aaron
have
Hernandez?
I used to have an
Of
Aaron
course you do.
Hernandez
Of
jersey.
course you do.
Man's a goat.
Yeah, Aaron Hernandez is the GOAT. Get the fuck out of here.
The best college tight end I ever seen in my life.
Oh
The
my
best college tight
God.
end. Can take an option pitch and take it 80 yards. Who name a tight end? Name a tight end that can take an option pitch and take it 80 yards.
Oh, I don't know. Rob Gronkowski did it in the pros.
Oh no, I'm talking about an option pitch. Anyway, Tennessee Tennessee's baseball team got lucky today. By the grace of God, they got lucky today.
well, it was A&M was shutting them down. I mean, they just it was just a couple of bad pitches that sealed their fate there. They really got dominated.
Yep, the coach will have to fight another day. The coach, and the Volunteers will have to fight another day. Hopefully, the Volunteers pull it out tomorrow.
I hope not, but
They'll give us something to cheer for. They haven't won much
hashtag
of
gig
anything.
'em.
They haven't run anything in 20 some. How long has it been for them since they won a championship? It got to be since the women's basketball team since '08.
I don't know. I was wondering about that myself. Has the women's basketball there won a title since they won the football natty? Probably
It got to
so.
be. There has to be. There has to be. So that'll be the first championship they won in almost 20 years.
Yeah, Jessica Fielman, by the way, that's your first baseman. She's great. You should be following her. The rest of your program sucks.
Oh, listen,
Follow the
listen,
first baseman for the
listen here,
softball team, sir.
sir. Let's talk about your program.
Yeah,
What-
they won the women's national championship in 2007 and 2008.
Yeah,
So
so that'll be something for Tennessee to cheer for, man. They need a championship, man. Yeah, all those fans disappointed, crying in every sport. Yeah, they probably need it. They probably need it. They probably have a parade in Knoxville if they win tomorrow.
Yeah, most championship teams have parades, sir. I know you guys haven't seen one in HD in Florida for a long fucking time, but
Oh,
it's generally.
listen, sir, sir. We just won the track and field championship, sir. What are you talking about?
Did you have a parade for that?
We did. When Clemson have one?
You,
When did
sir.
Clemson have
remember
one?
when Florida won the
You, sir.
basketball natty 2 years in a row. You remember that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We the only
That's, I mean, it
only
seems like that just seems odd because you don't think of Florida as
well,
being a
well,
good
I can say that
basketball school.
we was the only school to win it in football and basketball in the same year. We the only school that can say that. The only school.
Good for you.
Yep.
Your
South
program was
Carolina.
great then. Your program is shit now.
Guess what?
Works out now.
Let's make Florida great. Guess what? The slogan is for this year. This is the season of the Gators. This is the season where we stomp everybody's teeth in and we kick
You-
Miami the first game. When we dominate Miami the first game of the week, the season, I promise
Hey,
you,
let,
all
let
those
me
doubters, all you saying that Florida's going 4-8 and we find Billy Napier, when we be the first team to make the playoffs, the 12-team playoffs, when we kiss the trophy, I just want to clip this moment and every moment that I be on YouTube when they said that I was crazy and that we would never see the championship again. I promise you, we're gonna see the championship this year.
look, Octavian. I want to help you with something. You think Steve Spurrier is a good coach, right?
Yeah, he's the goat, man. He's the greatest of all
Okay.
time.
So we agree on that. Steve Spurrier, when he came to South Carolina, his first couple of seasons, he said, "I hope we just win more than we lose." That's where we are right now. And you know what he did? He went out there and he won more than he lost. That's the mentality you should have with this football team that you have right now.
Sir,
Not this nonsense of
sir,
we're going to win the
sir,
national
sir,
title.
sir.
You don't.
We're not South Carolina, sir. We're the University of Florida fucking Gators.
That's
We are a national brand. We don't have time to be losing more than we winning. We have to go 16-0 either every
Y'all
year
had the
or
time
every two
last
years.
year.
You're
South,
Spurrier would
we are not South Carolina. We are
Y'all
not
are
South
just
Carolina.
y'all are average as shit.
Georgia
I
used to
mean,
be that. Georgia used to be that 5 years
dude.
ago. They couldn't win a fucking big game to say they fucking lost. And then now since they so good, and since they beat Alabama one time, and they think they're so good. And they untouchable and so unbeatable. They don't forget where they came from. It takes one loss. It takes one loss, and they go back to where they come from. Just like Tennessee. Tennessee
You got
beats Alabama. They think they all good. Oh, they think they the king shit of everything. They think they the king shit of football. They tear down the goalposts. They tear up Knoxville. But the next week,
I don't look, Octavian, let me help you, okay? What you need to do is try not to be the fourth best program in Florida. Let's
oh my
strive for number
God.
3.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
going to be
Let's talk
number
about
3
it.
in the
Let's
state
talk
this
about
year.
it.
let's try to beat Arkansas. I mean,
Yeah. Try to beat
Fuck,
Arkansas. Very good. Very
fuck
good, Jack.
Arkansas. No, we don't even fucking play
Beat,
Arkansas. We play
y'all
Mississippi
probably lose to
State.
Mississippi State this year. I mean, you done lost to
yeah.
Arkansas.
Hell to the fuck no, we would not lose to Mississippi State. Are you serious?
Y'all
Are you
playing
serious?
them on the road. You can
We would
very
not
well
lose
lose
to
to
those
them.
cowbell ringing motherfuckers.
Mm.
I saw that game circled. It's in kind of early in the season, and
Yeah,
Mississippi State got a brand new
we gonna
coach,
blow
a lot
them.
of new players.
We gonna blow them out.
They're gonna be they're going to be really focused in these games that they think they might be able to win, because there ain't a lot
They're
of
not
them, and
focused.
y'all's is
They
one
are
of them.
sorry as hell. They is sorry as hell. Who in the hell? Mississippi State got
Hey,
Mississippi State might go 0-13, man. I'm serious.
hey,
I don't
Octavian,
think they're going to go to a
it's
bowl at
not
0-12 and lose that.
it's not out of the realm of sanity to think that Florida may not win a game after October 5th. Your schedule is as follows. Let me finish, sir. I'll let you run your mouth and spew. Hold on. You play Tennessee on the road, Kentucky at home, Georgia in Jacksonville. You go to Texas. You play LSU, Ole Miss, and you go to Florida State. You're not going to be favored in any of those games.
We're gonna beat Tennessee. We're gonna beat Tennessee. We'll beat LSU. We'll beat Ole Miss. We ain't worried about that part. The only team that we really worried about is Georgia. We're not worried about none of it. We just worried about
I
Georgia,
mean,
but we not.
they might be favored over Kentucky. It depends on how Kentucky's season's going by
Kentucky,
that
let me
point.
tell you something. Kentucky is straight garbage, and they problem. My thing with Kentucky is
They
since they
beat
beat
you
us
like
these.
their last
Hold
name
on,
was
hold on, hold on,
Turner
hold on.
last
Let
year.
me finish. Hold on, let me finish. Since they beat us these 3 years, they think they got a psychological edge against Florida. Let me tell you something. We have beaten y'all. We beat
Last
that
year
ass.
they had a running and defense and everything else edge against Florida. So
We have beaten that ass for 3 decades. It's about time. Hey, it's only right to give them, give them some kind of hope. We beat
Look,
that ass every year.
if you were
y'all gave up
playing,
like 300 yards
playing,
rushing to them, like 300.
It's just like Tennessee. We beat Tennessee every year. The one time Tennessee beats us, they throw a damn parade in Knoxville. I'm pretty sure
that's
that if
fine.
they beat us this year, I'm pretty sure if they beat us in Knoxville this year, they'd probably be jumping for joy and saying hallelujah and tearing down goalposts.
I was gonna say something nice about you, but now you're just running off like you're crazy here. If you were playing Tennessee at home this year, I'd probably pick you to beat them there, because for some reason Tennessee can't beat you there. They go in there with better teams and get their ass
They
handed
can't
to
beat us
them.
like this.
I
Sir,
don't.
sir, they can't beat us at neither. Sir. They cannot beat us at neither. They only won once. They only won twice in Neyland since I've been alive. Since I've been watching football.
Cool.
No, maybe three times at Neyland since I've been alive.
He
So
keeps adding to it. Well, they
All right.
only beat us one time. Oh, they only beat twice.
All right. Well, Octavian, I think we let you spit enough, brother. Wrap it up for us,
yeah,
because I got waiting, man.
I'm gonna wrap it up here. South Carolina really needs to get their sports together, man. They really do. And Tennessee, I really hope y'all win tomorrow. I really hope y'all do. It's just like Bob Barker. I really hope y'all win. Because if y'all don't win, that's just going up. Y'all just going off the mountain Clifford. And Georgia fans needs to relax and get off the Kool Aid because
You don't
Clemson's
need
gonna
to.
beat y'all. Clemson's gonna beat y'all in Atlanta.
Stop bringing that mojo. We don't need that shit from you.
I'm
All right, we
serious.
got
I'm
enough going
serious,
into
man.
that game. We have enough going
Y'all
into that.
gonna win. Y'all are
So
gonna fucking win.
I don't think we can beat them.
And
I'm a realist.
then, and then I want you to say this last part. For all you Miami Hurricane fans that bring y'all ass to Gainesville, I just want y'all to fucking know when we kick y'all ass, week one, 58-7, when we show the nation, who the fucking Florida Gators are, Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida State, you better get motherfucking ready because we're gonna end y'all. Go Gators,
Dicks
fuck
for a minute. We'll be
Tennessee,
done here in a second.
fuck Gators, and fuck South Carolina.
Thank you, Octavian. Have a good night. All right, let's welcome. Peg and Megan joins the show. Jackpot dancing to the Sucker Dick song is my favorite thing now. Hold on, here it comes again.
just brings out my inner. I don't know. It does something to me.
Follow that, Peg and Megan. Go.
Not the lyrics. The music itself.
Follow that, Peg and Megan. Now try to be entertaining after that, sir. Go.
No, wait a minute. JP said it brings out his inner. Sir, you need to finish that statement. We need clarification on that.
I don't.
Anyway.
No, you spun the camera around to Wheezy, who looked horrified at what she was hearing from Octavian. What are the chances Octavian wears a helmet on a daily basis?
Oh, it's not.
That's
it's
better than 50%.
Yeah. And the guy said that they had a parade for the track and field team. Let me just remind you what month it is. It's June.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about June in Gainesville. Sir, that parade was not for any sports related activities, I can assure you. Rob.
Yeah.
So the news that you kind of broke first thing in the show here, you feel confident in those sources?
I feel very confident in those sources.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have said it on here. So,
well, I don't want to dig up any old bones here, but you've led us astray once or twice.
If I haven't done it on purpose, but it's just what I think is going to happen from the folks that I've spoken with, and I think that I don't know where they're going as far as conference goes, but those two schools are checking out.
So what does your gut tell you on where they would go?
I think one of them is going to go to the SEC and one will go to the Big Ten. That's what I think. That's what I think. But then again, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. They both may go as a package deal somewhere else, but the Big Ten makes the most sense, to be honest with you. Because if I'm in the SEC, I already have the Florida and South Carolina markets. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm the Big Ten and I can dip down into that, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it would be huge.
Yeah. So you're saying markets is why you think they'll split?
Well, I mean, it's expanding the conference. You know, it's the Big Ten could then theoretically say that they are coast to coast.
Yeah.
Meaning that they've got the Midwest, the West, and the South all wrapped up into one conference. And that's what they'll use to go to pitch to advertisers that, hey, we can, or networks.
And the East Coast too.
Everywhere. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Coast to coast, the Big Ten could be that conference. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you got Pennsylvania, Penn State, you got Maryland and Rutgers, which are two. Those are both
Maryland and Rutgers.
Huge brands.
You dip into the South where you've got, Florida State and Clemson, and then you work your way out west.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it makes biological sense, but I think that's, if I were the guy that was marketing the Big Ten and they told me, like, look, we're going to have this, that's what I would go with. We are the coast to coast conference. We are America's conference because we have teams all over the lower 48.
So switching gears, I got a 2-part question for you, Jackpot. Give us a name for Carolina who no one's talking about, but you kind of feel like could be a breakout player. First part of that question. Second part, do you have any faith at all that cross-eyed Dickless Harbor with a Y is actually going to do anything this year, or are you about done with that experiment?
Well, I mean, it just depends on, I guess it depends on how well he's developed in the off season. I mean, he looked kind of lost last year, to be frank. I mean, he looked like, he looked very athletic and very fast, but I mean, other than that, I mean, there were some drops. It didn't look like I don't know that he ran the routes correctly. And this is just things I'm, picking up from other places as well. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you can waste that I just it's crazy the way that you can waste someone's speed and talent. I mean, it just seems like they could find some kind of package for him, just designed around him, that would be effective. You
Yeah,
agree?
and do you think there's any chance he's playing out of position?
Could be. I mean, he is playing out of position because in high school he was a defensive end,
Yeah.
and I think he played some tight end. But I mean, that's nothing. And he caught some passes as a tight end, and he had some touchdowns and picked up some decent yardage. But that's totally different than playing wide receiver, especially at the college level.
Yeah.
So,
So give us a name that no one's talking about that you really have a sneaking suspicion is gonna show up in a big way this year.
I think Nick Amenwari on the defense. Back there in the defensive backfield. I mean, he led the team in tackles as a true freshman. A lot of people are talking about Debo Williams, the linebacker, who led the team last year in tackles. But I think Evan Morey's posed for a huge junior season. Probably be gone after this year. But I mean, that's not saying not a lot of people are talking about him, but I mean they are. But I don't think he gets the spotlight that some of the other ones do. Also, Jalen Kilgore in defensive backfield too. That guy showed some real flashes last year as well. And I'm also interested in what Kyle Kennard, this transfer from Georgia Tech, defensive end, can do. He had some pretty hefty numbers at Georgia Tech on a otherwise pretty shitty team. Well, I mean, I guess they're real shitty. They made a bowl, but um, Georgia Tech. But yeah, those are the guys. Mine's are on defense. I'm excited to see what these guys can do on defense.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, guys, I will let you go. Have a good one.
Good evening.
There you go. Peg and Megan joining the show. All right, up next is Dylan. What's up, man?
I got one thing for Octavian. Florida's going 3-9.
Well,
I'm a Kentucky.
he would just have some ridiculous BS to rebuttal with you on that one. So,
I'm
but
a
yeah,
Kentucky fan, so
it's possible. I mean, they got a pretty difficult road to hoe there as far as schedule goes. So, I could see 3-9. Yeah, if everything went wrong.
yeah. I got them losing to all three Florida schools they play.
Yeah, you might be right. We'll see. Then they'll lose to South Florida too.
Maybe.
Don't play South Florida.
They got South. They have South
Play
Florida.
UCF.
That's right. UCF. So they got UCF, Florida State, and Miami. You think
Yeah, they
lose
only
all?
play one team that's not Power Five. They play McNeese State, and everybody else is a Power Five team.
We'll see how that works for them. All right, Dylan. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
Thank
There you go. All right, Jackpot. So I agree with you with what you were saying, but Gamecock Chuck with a good thing there with Bam Barton Scott, who I thought got more time at the end of the season last year, but I think he may be one of the go-to guys this year. So we'll see how that goes.
Vakari Swain that Rob Lee's talking about, he's a defensive back. I was watching the video that they put out a couple of weeks ago. Mike Furry was mic'd up at practice, and he was out there talking, like coaching them. They were going through their reps and stuff before scrimmage, and he was talking about Vakari. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought he played on defense. I thought he was a defensive back. I'm like, are they trying him out at receiver? I mean, but maybe it was some other kid he was talking about. Maybe we got some kid named Dakari that's like buried on the depth chart I don't know about, but sure sounded like it to me.
Matthew asked who I think will be the breakout player for Clemson. Well, that's easy for me. It's going to be Peter Woods. So this is a guy who played behind Ruka Roro and Tyler Davis last year. Both of those guys got drafted in the league in April. But this guy had 27 tackles, 2.5 for a loss. I'm looking at his stats, a forced fumble in he only had 2 starts on the season. But I think he's going to be one of the best defensive tackles in football this year.
He's
So
he's going to be amazing. You think they got a Power Ranger suit for him?
I don't know if they get one big enough for that kid. He is a big son bitch.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure they
but no,
could stretch fabric stretches.
I don't know, but he's gonna be the guy that like people got. If you follow Clemson really closely, you know that he's gonna be a good player. But for folks that don't know, he's I think he's gonna end up being the highest drafted player coming out next season for Clemson. So he's got, as long as injuries don't get.
I thought he was a freshman last year.
That's what I'm saying. He'll play this year and the following year. So when he comes out after
You
his
said
junior
next year, like as in next year.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Next year generally means the year following the one we're in.
Right. Well, all right. I was dumb there for a second, but
Yeah.
in 2 seasons, 2 NFL drafts away, after his junior year, I think he's gonna go to the pros and he'll be the highest drafted Clemson player. So there you go. That's my guy.
You think Rocket Sanders will run him over in the game this year?
You know what? Until Rocket Sanders goes out there and proves that he's not just, hey, I'm in the tub, he may not even make the field for that game. So go and look at what Arkansas fans on one of the Arkansas boards talk about him. Then it's literally, this guy can't stay on the field. That's the vibe.
He stayed on the field long enough to have like fucking 1,400 yards rushing the year before. They're just salty as fuck. They're salty because they suck, and their coach is about to get fired. Which I'm not saying the Irish don't suck, and he might not be getting fired potentially soon. But I mean, at least he's got a little bit of a leash left. Theirs don't. They're mad. I mean, Arkansas's. I mean, who is it? Mizzou's their rival. I mean, they've been destroying them lately, and it's got.
The Mazodcast taught us that Arkansas is Missouri's toilet. It's been that way forever.
Yeah, and they're living up to every ounce of that right now.
So,
Gamecock Chuck says Bakari Swain had 7 receiving touchdowns his senior year as in high school. So it looks like they do. I bet they've got him playing both ways. We got Travis Hunter on our hands down there.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Travis Hunter 2.0, Bakari Swain. There we go.
What was the Jesus? Okay. Let's see how that works out for them. All right. Well, here's the link. I'll put it out one more time before we get out of here this evening. If you would like to join the show, please come on in. We talked about a lot of different things. The Beamer with his stuff, with the coaches running their mouths behind his back, allegedly. Gamecock breakout players, Clemson breakout players.
Well, at least Mark Stoops was he did have enough of a set of balls to talk shit about him not to his face, but he didn't hide when he was talking about his stupid sunglasses, and then he kind of lost, so it made him look dumb, but he stood on business, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's the mentality of, I don't know how to put this. I think the mentality of Mizzou and Kentucky is that they are trying to be that level above South Carolina. Mizzou had a great season last year, but I mean, be that other team that's right there. I know the East is gone, but
Kentucky's not really doing a great job, but Mizzou did.
That's true, but I mean, their coach thinks that they're that way, though. Stoops, if you ask him in private and he had the truth serum, he'd be like, "We're a better program than South Carolina." I'm sure he'd say that.
Well, he was running away for a minute until Texas A&M didn't want him. It's crazy.
Mm.
Every time I think about that scene at the end of that game, that just at the handshake deal, it just cracks me up. That we stand on business, Josh.
we stand on business, Josh. What the hell is Heupel supposed to say there? Nothing.
I don't know. It's like he didn't have a chance to, to have a conversation with him. He turned around and ran off. It's like he's
All
got
right.
cheap.
Yeah. Chris, do you stand on business?
What's up?
You
All
stand on
right.
business,
How
sir.
you doing now?
What's up, Jetpot?
Hey man, how
So
you doing?
pretty good. My only comment really is if you're gonna take a shot at somebody like that, why don't you just come out and say who you are? I mean, why be anonymous? You know, why hide behind the camera, behind the scene? You know, that was kind of a deep shot, especially to say that the program's dead in the water. Uh, I
Yeah.
don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you, yeah, something like that. I mean, if you get outed for saying something like that, it could easily come back, and you have a lot of egg on your face, especially if that doesn't happen.
If
So that's why I
exactly.
think that a lot of these things, I think that it's sensational uh, journalism, and I think a lot of it's just made up for clicks.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, if this year becomes a shit show, I'm not gonna say it's dead in the water, but I'll say there need to be more changes, or if not, he's definitely gonna be on the hot seat. If we go, we win five, I think he'll be on the hot seat again. If we go 5-7,
Oh, for sure.
but
I think he's
that's just
gone
it.
if he goes 5-7.
Oh,
He might be.
he might be like it'll be very, very close because as a
How do
Carolina
you
fan,
how do you as a game as a head I mean, you can't win 6 games and go to a bowl game, even if it's a shitty bowl. You can't win 6 games and go to a bowl game 2 years in a row. I mean,
yeah, you're
seriously, that's not asking a hell of a lot there. It's really not.
not. Not at all. I mean, and
No,
that shouldn't be like Jackpot has said it many times. That shouldn't be we shouldn't expect to go 6-6. You know what I mean? That should be.
that
I
shouldn't be
mean,
the
well,
ceiling.
that
That
should
should
be
be
the
what you're
standard. You
striving
know what I mean?
for.
That is not the standard. That is that's minimal. That's the bottom of the SEC. If you're 6-6, but
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
well, guys, that's all I pretty much have to say. Shout out to Billy Cole. I think you need to join the program next.
Oh, well, anyway, Billy is probably getting himself squared away for that baseball game tomorrow. You know, I mean, it's kind of a game threes in the College World Series. You never know which way they're going to go. So we'll see how that works out for Tennessee tomorrow.
That
So
yeah, he's right though. The 6 and 6 years are not. I mean, that's not the standard. That's not what the standard should be. I hearken back to 2014, and we had all those really good teams there in a row. And then 2013 happens. It's like the worst offense or worst defense in school history. But we still ended up making the crappy bowl game there and that crappy game against Miami or whoever it was. Was it Independence Bowl? I think. Or I'm like,
right,
damn, this sucks. I mean,
but
it really.
you still got to go to a bowl game, and you still got to
Yeah, I mean,
have
and
those types
now,
of
I mean, we would
practices.
be like, really excited for that. But back then, mm-mm, that was
Well,
very
because you had a
disappointing.
taste of what was really good. I mean, it was, but now it's like just getting to a point where hey, we're 6-6, and we're not sitting at home the day after the Clemson matchup and just you know, I mean, it's he's got to do better than 6-6. I mean, that's eventually
Randall says what should be the standard at Florida making playoffs. I mean, don't you think?
with where Florida is now. With where Florida is now, it should be to go 6-6. That's how far that program has gone into the toilet. So
They got to start dominating the state in recruiting again. And I mean, with the way, which they're not recruiting bad. I mean, he was started out that 2024 class. Napier, I mean, it was like top 3 at one point, and then he had some decommitments, but I think he still finished top 10. But I mean, maybe it's not good enough. I mean, they should probably be recruiting in the top 5 every year. I mean, they
right,
got the NIL money. They've definitely got the homegrown talent base there to be recruiting those kind of players. But then we saw like in the 2024 class that was just signed. What's the kid? for Clemson. What is it? Is the Moore kid,
Right.
the wide receiver? He's out of Florida, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, 5-star TJ Moore. Yeah, why are we? Why aren't you staying in state? Why can't he land those players?
Big Barney Ross says staying out of prison should be Florida's goal. Very good, Big Barney Ross. Billy, welcome to the program.
Let me give the people what they want.
What are you sending out gift certificates? What's going on here?
No, I'm just calling in. I think 6-6 is a very good. I mean, we can talk about what we want, but I think the debate that Jackpot and Rooster having, one's being pragmatic. I think pragmatic is like you say. Until you improve your recruiting and are consistently in the top half of the SEC, until you are, for whatever it's worth, preseason rankings. You're welcome, Christopher. Let's be real. I mean, if you had to bet $1,000 on each game on South Carolina's schedule, how many games you say they're winning?
5.
If you had to bet $1,000 a game, that's where I'm at. 6. Let's be practical. Could things get better? Sure, but you got to show me, and that's what Jackpot's video the other day I took out of it. He's not being negative. Just show me. I've went through that 23 years with a team up here, up the road from me. Show me. Show me something. Show me some consistency. Show me a bowl game. I mean, look at Florida. What would be their ceiling record? Make a bowl game. Octavian. So, but anyway, I think the baseball game will be interesting tomorrow. I think the announcers was talking about Texas A&M pitching staff is pretty depleted. Tennessee's got plenty of pitchers.
Yeah, whatever the over is tomorrow in that game, I would take it, because I think that there's gonna be a lot of home runs hit because A&M's out of pitching. They ran that guy out there today.
You got true freshmen coming in throwing now out of the bullpen.
Right. So
that ain't gonna get it.
If Tennessee can get into that bullpen by like the 3rd inning, they may win like 14-6 or something like that.
Well, they're a couple of their aces aren't there or are injured or whatever. So I'm sure we'll hear a bit about that if Tennessee was to win. But that's why you play the game.
We don't argue with hardware here. You win the hardware, you win the title.
You win it, you win it. So it's one game, winner take all, and I would, a team that's hard to bet against, a team that leads the nation in home runs and batting average, and I think 3rd or 4th in ERA pitching. They left I believe they left over 18 or 20 runners on base today.
I think the final number was 17 is what I thought.
It just but Texas A&M had some good pitchers out there. Good pitching stops good hitting. So hats off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that A&M left it on the field today, and it's like they went out there thinking, look, we're going to throw the best we got here, and I don't know if they can get up for tomorrow's game. So
well, that's like last night. That was they threw their best, and their best relievers come out, so they're depleted for all practical matter. Now people say, well, they got more. Well, every team's got more pitchers, but I'm talking not true freshmen. That kid come in today and he looked like a deer in the headlights. He threw one across over the plate and out it went. So and the fact
92 and straight, well, that's not a good thing.
And had no movement on it, put it right up there, and
he's like hitting a beach ball.
But once again, I'm so tired of hearing Tennessee's got 6 players that's got over 20 home runs. Well, it didn't work for them yesterday. So we'll see. Play the game. Have a good game. If A&M wins, congratulations, Texas A&M. Let's move on. So,
all right, Billy.
let me go later, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Let you
All
go.
right, final caller of the evening.
Chip Smith says Vandy's team would have a circle jerk if they finished 6-6. I think Northwestern's team had a circle jerk a few years ago when they finished like 5-7, and that led to Pat Fitzgerald getting fired.
Good point, sir. Final caller. Actually, we'll have two more callers here. Schultz, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
But Pat Fitzgerald didn't go 1-11 his last year. He didn't go 5-7. He went 1-11 his last year. 3-9 the year before. But I do understand we got to hold it.
Northwestern facts. I apologize.
No, it's quite all right. I'm having trouble researching them as of right now. But I get we can't hold ourselves to mediocre standards forever. If we want to get what we want to get, we got to hold ourselves to higher standards. And that's what I've been saying. But you got to cut Beamer some slack because of all the craziness going on in the sport, like NIL and the portal being regulated.
Yeah, but the thing is, everybody's dealing with that.
Right. It's not like everybody else doesn't have.
Not like poor Shane, leave him alone. He's got a lot to deal with. He's got to deal with that portal. He's got to deal with somehow. Guess what? There's like 130 other coaches in FBS doing the same thing too.
Somebody put that Gatorade cooler there for him to kick, and someone was holding onions under his eyes so he would cry and all of that. So yeah, you got to stop with the excuses on that front, man. He's paid $6 million a year and he can't go to the fucking toilet bowl. Come on.
Well,
man.
I mean, still, it's not really. I mean, like the Blue Bloods aren't really hurt by it. I mean, they get everyone from the portal at this point. But no, I
hold on. Beamer's had good portal classes. I mean,
please
they have
don't
hot dog water.
Please don't bring up Rattler because Rattler was before the portal went all crazy. And he came over here because he was struggling at Oklahoma. It wasn't because he wasn't some star player that he nabbed. It wasn't like how Juice Wells gave us the finger and left or how Jaheim Bell did either. I mean, both those guys were star players that didn't have any issues at Carolina and just left for no reason. It's not like what's his name, ATN leaving Florida. Those are kind of the examples I'm talking about. That's what's hurt us so much.
Only thing they did in the transfer portal this past year that disappointed me was not being able to land AJ Swan from Vanderbilt after he had committed, and then he decided to back out and go to LSU. That was disappointing. I think mismanaged. And then that kid from South Carolina who went to Boston College, I thought that was probably, I don't know that. Well, I don't know.
I still don't get why. I don't get why AJ Swan went to LSU. I don't get why AJ Swan went to LSU because they got Garrett Nussmeier who played great in the bowl game. He's been around for a while.
I paid him more, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they paid him more, but that's the other thing. Blue Bloods have more money. I mean, the Blue Bloods have more money and they can pay him more.
That's bullshit. There's money in South Carolina. I don't want to hear that nonsense. There's money in South Carolina. That's
come on, we're
brother. The damn what is it? The Garnet Collect.
We don't have the same kind of money. Man.
You get the same.
Is LSU really a blue blood? I don't know about that.
You won a national title.
I mean, they won a national championship a few years ago. Yeah, they win a national championship under every head coach who comes there. I mean, they had 2 back-to-back 10-win seasons. And the fact that year 2, this past season, despite winning 10, like this point.
All right, Schultz, man, your phone is kind of crazy.
Like you're talking into a xylophone.
Let's welcome Big Bernie Ross to the show. Welcome to the show, sir.
Well, hey, fellas, it's Big Bernie Ross. The Bourbon Channel has almost reached 100,000 views. When it gets
there,
well, when it gets there, I'm going to send you a bottle of Traveler's Bourbon to give away to one of your lucky callers, one of the millions of viewers that called in. That's Chris Stapleton's bourbon, by the way, that he got together with the master distiller at Buffalo Trace, Mr. Heatley. But I'm looking forward to that. You're pretty close to the 100K, and I'll send that bottle in, and we'll do something special for the show. That way, one lucky caller can sample some Kentucky bourbon. But
Well,
before I go,
Robert from Columbia would like that. He may call in.
yeah, I mean, however you want to set it up, I'll send some bourbon that way. That way, you can spread that around with the listeners and callers and the people that get involved in the show. But Jack, I got a question for you. You know, as a Kentucky fan, I know we play the second game of the year, and I know y'all got a 5-star edge rusher, Dylan Stewart, who's sitting over on the sidelines. I'd rather, me as a fan of Kentucky, I'd rather face Kyle Kennard. Do you think that Dylan Stewart's going to be able to take that job before y'all play us? And I'll get off here and listen to what you got to say.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know. I don't see him taking that job unless the other kid gets hurt. But I think they'll. That's why I like you got two really good players that now you can rotate in and out and get Stewart some reps and have a little bit of depth there at that position. So that's a good thing. Got to have some depth on the defensive line. Jay, thank you for the super chat. Says, is Beamer a little perturbed with Carolina Jackpot doing all these hot dog reviews? No, he sent me a text the other day and he said he really appreciates it and they're entertaining to him in his downtime, which he doesn't have a lot of. Jerry wants to know what are a couple of keys to good hot dog chili. Number one, good quality ground beef. Number two, seasoning. I like cinnamon in mine. It gives it a good kick. You like cinnamon and hot dog chili, Rob?
I don't know if I've ever had cinnamon in hot dog chili.
Oh yeah, it's good, man.
So the wife just gave me the stank eye when I said that. So
2 billion says all South Carolina needs is a new coaching staff, better players, and better facilities. Okay.
Their facilities are rated in the top half of the SEC. If you
Yeah.
go down there, I mean, it's like they got a freaking recording studio where these fools can come in and drop beats or whatever. So I mean, they've got all that. They've got a great indoor facility. They've got all that. I don't know if Beamer's a good coach or not, but as far as bells and whistles, they've got that.
Have you ever had Skyline chili before? Have you ever eaten there?
Yeah, I've had that before. Yeah.
You ate from there, from the restaurant in Ohio?
Mhm. No, I mean I've ate like the canned chili.
Yeah, well, I ate from one it was actually in Indiana, but it was a Skyline chili restaurant, and they serve it over spaghetti, which you'd think is kind of weird with like a ton of cheese on it. It was really, really good. That was like 8 years ago, I think.
Jay Rice says, "Do y'all think Clemson will make the 12-team playoff this year? If they can, if they
Only if they win the ACC.
right, I think that if they win the ACC, they will. I think that Florida State's going to be showing up as a fraud, and Clemson will jump right into there and have an opportunity. But I don't think that there's this whole thing of everybody's like, oh, Clemson's going to go 8-4. I don't necessarily see that. And the Louisville people are my favorite right now. They think that they're just going to win everything. They're just going to take it.
I have them in my video predicted to beat you guys. I think it's going to be kind of one of those funky kind of games where it just doesn't make any sense that they do, or why I would think that. But I mean, they've been in the conference since 2014. There's been a lot of close calls. I think this is finally their time to get you. But I tell you about them, I was very disappointed in their showing down the stretch last year, namely the game against Florida State in the ACC championship game. They didn't even, I mean, they had a golden opportunity to beat them with the quarterback out,
Right.
and still weren't able to muster up any kind of offense. It looked terrible. And then they went out and did nothing but just go out and just lose their damn bowl game too. I think it was the Southern Cal, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying that. So
yeah. I just don't think we're in the realm of, hey, this is going to be the greatest Louisville team, blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Well, I'm not sold on Virginia Tech either, and I've already told you people why. I mean, I just look at them last year, and they make this big deal about, oh, they found this quarterback, Drones or whatever his damn name is. Oh, he's the real deal, and he's on the front of, I think he's on the front of this Phil Steele magazine here. Yeah, there he is. Drones, Virginia Tech. I mean, they ain't beat anybody worth a damn shit. I mean, down the stretch, I mean, they lost to NC State, who was a good team, got blown out by Florida State, got blown out by Louisville. So everybody that they played on the schedule that was any good destroyed them. But they beat Pitt and Boston College and Wake Forest in a row and beat a terrible Tulane team in a bowl game, which was missing over half of its decent players that had opted out. Yeah, no, I ain't believing that. Not till I see it.
Yeah. Well, we're at the point of talking season, and it's gonna have plenty of time to look at
Yeah,
all this
Schultz.
stuff.
Yeah, they lost to Marshall last year, but that was before Drones took over as quarterback. I guess he's the second coming of Michael Vick up there or something. I guess. I don't know.
Ugh. Plenty of time to get into all that as we move later on. Don't forget what College Baseball World Series final tomorrow night. A&M and Tennessee.
2 billion says South Carolina Stadium holds 77,000 people. Most high-end SEC stadiums hold at least 100,000. So no, South Carolina needs better facilities. Bigger is not necessarily, better. Georgia's won how many national championships in a row? 2, and then failed 2 last year. Theirs holds like 92,000.
Yeah, I think that I that's
that
I don't know.
Well, they gained 1 when Texas came in, and I think Tennessee Stadium. I think the capacity of Neyland Stadium has kind of went down over the years a little bit. I think they did some remodels to it or whatnot, added more boxes, and I guess they made the aisles wider or something. So it took some of the seating away. I'm not really sure what they did up there.
We'll have to see how that works out too. They got that whole thing. They're dumping more money into the stadium, so maybe they'll eventually get back over the 80,000 mark. We'll see. We shall see.
Yep.
All right. Well, it's been a great show. We'll be back at it again on Wednesday. Thank you guys for stopping in, and we will see you guys later on.
Appreciate